I struggled so hard to find stuff to talk about, but then I realized that the pre-orders went live for the Meta Quest 3S, and nobody told me. So, obviously I'm not the target demographic for this because I already have a Quest 3. However, for someone like our guest over here, I say guest, you're like pretty much just a native to this channel at this point. You've been here a lot.
Yeah, I don't have a life. I don't have anything else to do.
Don't worry, neither do I. That's why I spend all my day on YouTube and making these videos. But as someone who doesn't have VR yet, would this be something that can potentially get you into VR, given that the price is $300?
I mean, as a kid, I really wanted to do VR and stuff like that, because obviously you watch, like, gaming YouTubers and stuff like that, and you're like, oh my goodness, you know, in VR, like, Minecraft VR, obviously, I've already mentioned Roblox. I sound like such an idiot, and, like, talk about Roblox when I'm, like, 20, but...
Is there Roblox VR?
Yeah, there's Roblox VR. You can go into like certain games and you can use, I think, like voice chat in VR and stuff like that. But my favorite one is there's one game that's like meant for it specifically, and you can just pick people up and throw them and like put them in microwaves, throw them through a basketball hoop, stuff like that.
That sounds sadistic and right on my alley, even though I don't like Roblox.
And yeah, we kept getting you to try it, play with us, but I think VR chat was another one that I really wanted to play when I was a kid, which is ironic considering the stuff that goes on it. But you just, like, when you're a kid with like unrestricted internet access, and you just go on YouTube and you're looking at all these gaming videos, and people are just like, oh my goodness, like VR chat is so much fun, you can customize your character and everything. I think I watched, like, what was his name, Jameski or something, and he went on there and just terrorized people with flamingos, but he did that on Roblox as well, which is why I watched it in the first place. And I really wanted to go on VR chat as a kid.
VR chat or any kind of like online random group chats or like virtual group chats and kids are like the worst possible combo.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing I didn't go on it.
That is the equivalent of getting your kid onto Omegle or something, so kids shouldn't go nowhere near VR chat, I'm sorry.
How much did VR headsets cost back in, like, I'm just thinking, probably 2015 was when I first started hearing about them.
So when you were like, what, 5 years old?
No, I was like 11. VR headset 2015.
They were definitely a lot more expensive, probably like $500 plus.
Yeah, so back in the day, it was like, VR headset was like unattainable. And then I was like, oh, when I grow up, maybe they'll be cheaper. And it seems like that's kind of happening.
They are.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, but now it's the question of how much would you actually spend? Because here's the annoying part, and the thing I kind of don't get. So, Meta launched the Quest 2, it was huge, everyone loved it. Then they launched the Quest 3, a lot more powerful, much better lenses, so the picture was more clear. That was a lot more expensive. So, but they kept the Quest 2 around because it was like, what, $200? That's dirt cheap for a VR headset. But now they have the 3S, which costs $300, and they discontinued the $200 Quest 2. You cannot buy the Quest 2 anywhere. So now the cheapest is $300. Would you say that's kind of like a tipping point for people who want to get into like VR on a budget? Like that $100 extra?
I mean, yeah, probably. It's just like, if you've got the cheapest thing on the market, you kind of control the cheapest thing on the market. Because, like, as you said, they got rid of the S2 because, or the Quest 2 because they were like, yeah, it's cheaper, but it's not as good. And then now they've just gotten rid of it because they're like, oh, here's another one that's kind of cheap. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's also a little bit better. Why don't you just get this one instead? It just feels like that. So I think it's like, because it's a bit more accessible, maybe people would be a bit more inclined to go into it. And I think, again, it's like peer pressure. Like, if your friends got it, like all your gaming friends had VR and they all wanted to play a VR game, you're kind of going to be coerced into playing it a little bit.
So here's the question: are you going for it then? Would you get an free S?
No.
Why? Did you just like grow out of wanting VR?
Well, a little bit, but also just a bunch of factors. Like, you already know I'm kind of moving around because I'm still in uni and stuff like that. So I don't really want extra stuff to carry on top of everything else.
It's just a VR headset doesn't take up that much space.
Yeah, but it's fragile.
It's not that bad.
And then also just like, what do you call it? Like finance. Like, I mean, if you have a job, £200 if you saved up for it is not, or 300. Sorry, £300 if you saved up for it.
It's
depending on the
$300.
job you have.
So like
dollars.
$300, so about
£289. Yeah.
So you could probably and you can probably get it on financing as well, split it up across like I don't know, like 6 months or something.
Yeah, that's fair. So it's like, yeah, if you had a job and it's a well-paying job, like not like minimum wage, because if you're minimum wage, you probably have other priorities. Then yeah, like you could save up for it, but frankly, like I don't have a job yet. I'm looking to get one actually within the next week. I'm gonna try and apply for a specific job, and if that works, then you know, chill. But I still probably wouldn't get it.
Because okay, but what is that even now available for any kind of VR headset that will even make it worth it? Because VR chat, if you got a VR headset, would you actually play VR chat? Yes or no?
Probably not. Now that I'm older and I realize what VR chat was actually probably like.
Okay, then
as you said.
Then what's left? Beat Saber?
Beat Saber was fun. I really wanted to play Beat Saber as a kid, but I could also just raid your house.
Yeah. So are you gonna pay $300 for Beat Saber?
No, absolutely not. As I said, I can raid your house, and when we played Beat Saber that last time, it was such an unexpected workout. So it's just like, oh,
it is
maybe
good,
not. It is fun, yeah.
And then,
but also, it's a lot more limited than I expected it to be. Because, like, on top of that, you have to pay for DLCs to get certain songs. Like, I remember I saw the Green Day one, and I was like, can we play that? And you're like, no.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Well,
it depends. If you have the standalone Quest version, you have to pay for the DLC. If you have the Steam version, you can actually just mod the game and put in as many free songs as you like, including songs that the developers didn't put in originally.
That's
so
actually
pretty much any
cool.
song you like, someone probably made a mod for it.
Okay, that's a bit more of a consideration point then. But I think still, it's like, it would be genuinely if, you know, I had a stable place to stay and I had, like, excess money to spare, then yeah, I'd get it. But other than that, no.
Then there's Half-Life Alyx. Are you into Half-Life at all?
I think... Okay, this is gonna sound really, really bad. I think I played a Half-Life, like, Roblox ripoff back in the day. But
it always comes down to back to Roblox with you.
It does. But I don't know if I'd play it because from what I saw of it, it was just kind of like meh. Like it was like what do you call it? Dictatorship simulator or something, right?
What?
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
I think you're definitely thinking of the wrong thing. Half-Life Alyx is one of my favorite games of all time, just because of how immersive it is in VR. It's one of the more like photorealistic games in VR, but also just the action is a FPS in VR.
It's ironic that Alyx is your favorite one.
It's spelled incorrectly. It's spelled A-L-Y-X for some reason. I didn't know. Because I played Alyx before I played Half-Life 2, so when I first saw the name, I thought it's Half-Life Alyx. Because I didn't recognize that that's supposed to be Alyx. But it's just spelled weirdly.
It's like the suburban mums in like America or something calling their Joshi Kaylee, but then spelling it like a certain way. Yeah, no, I think I might have gotten it wrong because I'm looking at the images of this game right now and it doesn't look anything like what
I want to know what game you're thinking of now.
Let me see if I can find it because it was such a long time ago that I might not have saved that game. No, as I said, it was literally just Roblox ripoff of something. Downtown.
And then there's also the new Batman game, Batman Arkham Shadows, which actually comes free with your Quest 3S purchase. So I'm not at all into superheroes or Batman, but an Arkham game on VR could be pretty good. I did see the huge backlash against that game though when it was first announced that there's a Batman Arkham game coming exclusive to VR because people wanted to play it without VR. As someone who does have a VR headset, you know, I can't really comment that much. If someone who doesn't have a VR headset and just wants to play another Batman VR game, a Batman Arkham game, then I get how can that be kind of annoying. But come on, it's just like a completely different thing on VR. It's a completely different experience on VR, and yeah.
Fair.
I think Alex shown that games like that are just specifically made for VR from the ground up, and porting them over to the PC is just doing it a disservice, and it's just not nowhere near as enjoyable. So exclusive games like Arkham Shadow, we should very much be getting those for VR, especially if we want VR to actually expand, because we haven't had any big VR games in like ages. We had Beat Saber, Half-Life Alyx, VR Chat. Those are like the big 3 apps, and that's it. And now Arkham Shadow maybe depends on how that works out.
I kind of do get it though, because when you were saying with the immersive thing, yeah, when you were getting us to try VR for the first time, I genuinely didn't expect it to be right in front of you. Like it was. Because I don't think I had glasses yet at the time.
Wait, so that was your first time trying VR at my house?
Yeah. I don't think I'd ever tried it before that.
So how was it then?
It was weird as hell. Like, as I said, I didn't expect it to be like right here, you know? So I was putting it on and I was expecting to kind of like see, but more like the way that you see through like a phone screen held right in front of you. And then instead it's genuinely my entire vision. I don't know what I was expecting exactly. I could see like a tiny little bit here.
Yeah,
like you can see the floor.
That's definitely annoying about it.
Yeah. But other than that, it was literally like that was all I could see. And obviously like I didn't have my glasses at the time. Just like I didn't have a prescription yet or anything. So when I put the goggles on, and it's just like my vision is like clear no matter how far I look, and I was like, that's crazy. And also it was very loud, just in the sense that when you're in a VR headset, that's like all you can really pay attention to, because I couldn't really hear you guys properly or anything.
Yeah, I mean that's the point of VR, is it's supposed to be like fully immersed in that experience, like you're in a different world or whatever, or inside this weird void with just red and blue cubes flying towards you, as is the case in Beat Saber. So, verdict: it still needs to get cheaper before you consider VR headset then.
Yeah, because if I got a headset in like 5 or 10 years, when I have a well-paying job, possibly. Let's see how this economy does first. To when I've got like savings, probably a stable place to live, and like I don't know, time maybe to play it.
And hopefully more games will also come out by then. Like actually more reasons to even buy a VR headset, because a $300 Beat Saber machine, no, unless you just do it as an excuse not to go to the gym and you just have that be your only exercise, maybe fair enough, but apart from that, it just needs like 1 or 2 extra apps that isn't just...
I mean, I'd use it to play Roblox and Minecraft, and then Beat Saber, but it's just like, it's not really justified for the price, especially because in like 5 or 10 years, as we already mentioned before, in 2015, I wanted one and you were like, oh, it's probably going to be $500, and then it's gone down to like $300 now, so it'll probably go down a couple $100 more by then, and it'll also be more accessible, there'll be more options, everything. It's just like technology will have probably advanced a bit more by then.